What can I say about our next presenter? Well, he is tall, like very, very tall. It's not Dr. Starkey. No, it's not him. A few call him John, but most call him SPCA John. He is passionate about classic cinema, and in preparing for this Pecha Kucha presentation, he discovered how difficult it is to talk about himself. Please, put your hands together, give a very warm Lloydminster welcome to John Puncheon, the very exuberant John Puncheon.
I will be turning 39 in November. Yeah, I know. My vision of 39 when I was growing up would be, like the picture shows, a house, a wife, kids, dog, a full head of hair. I have achieved one thing, and that is I have a dog. So I'm left to think to myself, why? What happened? How come I haven't achieved this sort of pinnacle goal that is almost told to us when we're young that you need to, when you get to a certain age, have kids and get settled, and that's just the goal of life. So I often started to reflect on what maybe happened. Now, when I was a kid, I was really outgoing at first. I was goofy, I was unique. But what I found is, when I was like that, is I got criticized a lot, got picked on, a lot of times, shut up, you're so weird. So I closed up. And what I did is I focused on school. I was like, you know what? I don't need friends, because if I get A pluses and I excel in school, and this continued through college, that the sky's the limit, and I'll get the last laugh, right? Because, hey, I can do whatever I want, and you guys were picking on me, and whatever. I got no friends, but man, I'm successful. But it didn't quite work out that way. So after college, I actually got into the hotel industry. What was interesting about that, a great experience, but I found that almost every year that I was in hotels, it would sort of be like, I'd work to a certain level, and then I'd be like, I don't like this hotel or whatever, so I'd move to another hotel. What I found is, when I hit about 27 years old, is exactly that, a sigh. It was like, I've done fairly well in my career, but I don't feel satisfied. I feel empty inside, and I couldn't quite figure out why that was. I didn't feel fulfilled, and I thought I should feel fulfilled. I was very fortunate in 2007. I quit my job in the hotel industry, and I began working in animal welfare. I started at the Edmonton Humane Society. I told my parents that I was making a fair amount as a hotel manager, that I would be working as $9 an hour scooping up cat poop and dog poop, and they're like, that's career suicide. And I was like, yeah. So I moved my way up through operations supervisor in Edmonton, and then moved out here in 2013. And I started as operations manager, and I moved my way up to executive director. The funny thing is and as Ben said in the introduction, is I became Lloydminster SPCA. My friends referred to me as SPCA John. I was like, well, who am I? So I ended up at the psychologist. Suddenly in this picture I have hair. Yeah, psychology works, I got hair. But it quickly got pulled out in the discussions. But what I discovered is I never had really found out who I was. So I had this brilliant idea. I'm like, okay, in 1 month, I'm going to discover who I am. I'm going to do a bunch of crazy things that I've never done before but always wanted to, and then boom, I'm going to discover who I am. It's going to be like, boom, yeah, there I am. Woo. So I set out this list, and I'm like, yep, we're going to do this, and John's going to come out, and he's going to be awesome. He's still going to be bald, but he's going to be awesome, and things are going to be sweet. So the first thing I did is I went to a medium. Who's been to a medium? And I can't see your hands, but anyway. If you haven't been to it, it's totally different than I thought. It's not like this palm reading and crystal balls. But what was so cool was she said a lot of the same things that the psychologist and I discussed. It's like, so all these spirits, the cat showed up and all this stuff, and they're like, yeah, be you. You're hiding yourself, man. So I was like, wow, sweet. This is the signs that I got to do this. So one of the things I decided to do is I took my dog and we went camping for the first time. Now, I've gone camping before, but this is the first time I've gone on my own and put up my own tent. But don't show up just before the sun's setting, because you're like, oh, God, I'm never going to get this out. And the dog's like, what are you doing? I'm like, it's cold. Anyway, the next thing that we did, well, I did. The dog didn't come for this one, was I went go-karting. I'd never gone go-karting before, and we drive by when we're traveling through BC, and I'd say, oh, go-karting, and my parents like, yellow's a finger, and I'm like, oh. So I finally went go-karting, and that was awesome. It's so much fun going around those corners. I'm like, yeah! And then I went ziplining, because I'm afraid of heights. Actually, the one in the middle there, I literally like, oh boy, I'm crawling up and like on my hands and feet, and I'm like, oh. But I did okay. We zipped along there, and it was a really great thrill, and a couple cool friends went with me, and that was awesome experience. But the Sunday after we did this, and like the adventure's coming to an end, I'm sitting there. I still hadn't found that answer. I still wasn't like, boom, the light went on, and John's like, hey, life is awesome, everything's cool, got it figured out. No, I didn't have it. I was still like, what? I'm still equally confused. So what I realized is I have to start slowing down, right? I was always just running a mile a minute, right? If I just go a mile a minute and don't take the time to myself, I almost ignore that time and that sort of vulnerability, then I had to do that. I had to sort of say, it's okay sometimes to slow my life down. Live a life. So one of the things that was a huge achievement for me, I have literally for 3 years been living on fast food. Yeah, it doesn't show, hey. But yeah, I was living on fast food. Like, work a day and go home and eat my, fries. But, I actually started grocery shopping and cooking at home, which was really unique for me. So yeah, that was the realization. I'm worth it, man. It's okay sometimes to struggle a little bit. It's okay to have those down moments because, you know what, I am worth it. I'm a good person. I deserve to be happy. When I was going through this, the line from John F. Kennedy, which is about the spaceships and stuff, but anyway, we do things not because they are easy, but because they are hard. I'd put off so much of my life focusing on myself because it was hard, it was scary. I'm like, ooh. So I just go a mile a minute, or I'll just bury myself in what I'm successful with, is work. As I go through this journey, I cannot guarantee you that I'm not going to have those down days. It's going to happen. But what I realize is, you know what? I got this. I may not meet the pinnacle goal of what I thought at 40 I would have kids and a family and dog. That's probably not going to happen. Science would have to work really fast. But ultimately, I've got this, and I'm worth it.